Please be seated. Every year, a new group of graduates gathers here while we all celebrate their accomplishments. By tradition, and now for 23 years, and with great affection and pride, we want everyone to recognize Dr. Herman Green and the Green Machine. Please give these musicians a hand. Well, welcome to a great, cool day. For most of you, it was 4 years ago that you started here. Now, here you are, ready to face the world and hopefully change it. Today, it's all about you. But others here are important, really important to us and to you. Will all the mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, husbands, wives, significant others, and friends of these wonderful graduates please stand so we can say thank you. At the core of every college are our students, and we're here today to celebrate. But let's not forget the faculty who have given their time, shared their experiences, and committed themselves to the terrific education that each of you have received. Current and past faculty, please stand so we can say thanks to you. The administration and staff of MCA have, over this 4-year period, provided the services, the support, the security for all of you, and they too stand so proud of you this day. Will all of our staff please stand so we can say thank you? Like all colleges, behind the scenes is the board. Our board of trustees care about the quality, about the reputation, and about the operations of this college. And every day, a part of their very busy lives is focused on how to make MCA better, stronger, and more meaningful. And so we now want to recognize them for their hard work and support. First, would the chair, Henry Doggerel, stand? And now the other trustees and their spouses. Now let me introduce the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Remy Miller, who will introduce the valedictorian.
Morning. As Ron said, I have the pleasure of introducing the valedictorian speaker. Memphis College of Art's valedictorian is chosen each year for having the highest cumulative grade point average of both the December and May graduating classes. Our 2016 valedictorian came to us as a transfer student from Austin Peay State University in the fall of 2014. She immediately established herself as one of the best students in illustration and comics. Faculty member Shane McDermott told me that students who came from the same high school referred to her as legendary. Shane also said he would try not to gush too much, but that she was one of the best students he had ever taught, and if not the best. Michelle Noisette describes her as quiet as a mouse, but her work speaks loudly. Both agreed that she is driven, determined, hugely talented, but despite that, sweet and humble. Kaylee DeVault is graduating today summa cum laude with a BFA in Design Art, concentration in comics. I am honored to introduce Kaylee as she delivers the 2016 Student Valedictory Address. Kaylee?
Can you hear me? Yeah? Now? Okay, cool. All right. Well, good morning, distinguished guests, family and friends, teachers and faculty in the graduating class of 2016. Congratulations on making it this far. I'm sure you're all ready to move forward, but if you're like me, you're probably feeling a little nervous about stepping out into the professional world. As shown by the incredible work you have all created this semester, there is no doubt that many of you will achieve great success. Still, the path to success may not be easy. The road of life is unpredictable. Most of us will have to overcome the many twists and turns that life throws at us, but we can reach our end goals. It only takes persistence and courage. If I were told 4 years ago that I would be speaking here today, I would not have believed it. At that time, art school was unaffordable to me, despite the hard work and determination to be here. I felt that I had personally failed myself as well as those who had supported me. This was one bump in the road. During my sophomore year at my first college, Austin Peay State University, I was given the opportunity to attend a class taught by Scott McCloud, a nationally renowned cartoonist and comics theorist. At this time, I realized that comics was what I wanted to pursue more than anything, and I knew that MCA offered a comics concentration. This meant reapplying with the high possibility that I once again could not afford it. But by taking the initiative to reapply, reconstruct my portfolio, and continue to work towards my goal, I've been led to one of the greatest experiences of my life. While I have only been fortunate enough to attend MCA for 2 years, I felt as though I have grown as both an artist and a person, thanks to the guidance and support of the faculty and fellow students. This is the time that we have worked so hard for. Choosing to pursue our passion in art, despite any of the hurdles thrown at us, proves that we have what it takes to reach our individual goals. We have all heard that terrible stereotype about being a starving artist, about only making pennies or barely surviving on ramen. But that's just a myth. The truth is, we can shape and build our own paths. As artists, we've chosen a difficult road, but a rewarding one. We can live by the things we create. You can be the next great painter or photographer. Your work can be showcased in top galleries and museums. You can be the next great installation artist, or conceptual artist, or animator. You can be successful at whatever it is you want to do. You, members of the graduating class, have already demonstrated your bravery by pursuing a dream that you believe in. We will create our own realities, and despite both the ups and downs of the road of life, it will be a bright reality, because we will always have our creativity to build on. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2016.
MCA's Vice President for College Advancement, Ms. Laura Hine, will now introduce the commencement speaker. I did. I jumped the gun.
Okay. Each year, it is my job to introduce the current faculty member who delivers the faculty greeting. This year is a little bit different, as we are having a faculty emerita do the address on the occasion of the induction of new emeritus faculty. What has developed as a sort of tradition over the past few years is that I come up here and say all kinds of goofy things about the speaker, get a few cheap laughs, and then ruin their talk. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, that isn't going to happen this year because nobody says goofy things about Vida Reed. Vida is a Memphis art institution unto herself. Her history with the college is long and storied. Vida first enrolled at the then Memphis Academy of Art in 1952. She graduated in 1956. She worked as the registrar from 1956 to 1960, taught part-time starting in 1959, and in 1962 was hired full-time. She became the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs from 1985 to 1992. She retired and then was named Emerita in 1995. She has served on the Board of Trustees for many years, and I am proud to say that she agreed to return to teaching part-time in the fall of 2014 for a year and a half. She has exhibited her paintings at many and various venues in Memphis throughout her career, and I think it is fair to say that she and her good friend, colleague, and fellow emeritus, Dolph Smith, are the deans of visual arts in Memphis. And she's not done yet. Vida shows regularly at the David Luss Gallery and will be having a retrospective exhibition at the Brooks Museum this summer. Please welcome Vida Reed.
Goodness. Ron told me before we began this morning that he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to get me off the stage. He wasn't quite sure what I was going to say. Anyway, welcome to everybody, and thank you for coming to our celebration of the class of 2016. Today marks the end of another chapter in the history of our school, but our journey, like theirs, is far from over. And if you believe in the Wizard of Oz, you know it's the journey and not the destination that's important. In 1936, a small group of dedicated artists joined together to create the Memphis Academy of Arts. Their intent was to offer a serious program of fine and applied arts supported by a foundation that would inform all the arts. Courses in drawing and design that would teach students how to really see rather than just look, and how to manage 2- and 3-dimensional space while engaging in logical thought and creative problem solving. While coupling logical thought and creative problem solving was thought to be an oxymoron by some of them, it was strongly encouraged and was often the source of some really far-out ideas. Like the time a student faced with the drawing lesson known as the blind contour, which was intended to increase hand-eye coordination, insisted the class should be allowed to draw with invisible ink to further test their skill. The founders also... Mark knows about the blind contour. The founders also wanted to maintain a casual atmosphere where students and faculty were in it together, so to speak. To that end, one middle-aged teacher from the Northeast insisted that her students call her Speedy. Happily, the Academy flourished, became accredited, and awarded its first degrees to the class of 1950. The number of credits required for the BFA was 152, and the tuition was $150 per semester. 9 years later, the Academy moved from its wisteria-covered home on Adams Avenue to this new, beautiful, modern building in Overton Park. Within the next few years, the building would double in size and the student body would triple. Major course offerings were broad and all-inclusive: fine arts, commercial arts, photography, and crafts. The most significant curricular change was the implementation of a full complement of art history and liberal studies courses that could be developed and taught on campus. Prior to this time, our students had to attend other colleges to earn these credit requirements. The Academy continued to grow and advance in stature as we fast forward to the 1980s and enter the computer age. Those were exciting times. We changed our name from Academy to College. We began a graduate program. We had a new president who was determined to put a computer in every studio and a word processor in every office. He would tell everyone who would listen how you could put 20,000 images on a single video disc, which meant we could offer our students visual experiences never before possible. Imagine that. He also had one of the first cell phones that he carried around school in a shoulder bag. That thing was as big as a bread box. Oh, excuse me. Oh, little did we know what was in store for us down the road. Because in the beginning, there was no Wi-Fi, no internet. As we continued our journey into the age of new and wondrous discoveries, we built 2 new dormitories side by side on Rembrandt Street and opened the Neeson Graduate School on South Main, offering 3 advanced degrees. And here we are today with the class of 2016, our most recent accomplishment. There have been a few bumps along the way, but nothing we couldn't overcome. 80 years later, those core courses in drawing and design were determined by our founders to be essential to the study of all the arts, continue to provide the foundation for our curriculum. The curriculum is a living, fluid entity that is designed and is constantly reviewed to ensure that it serves the changing needs and expectations of our students, addresses advances in technology, meets the demands of the marketplace and the requirements of the accrediting bodies. Each graduating class is our key to the future. They are the artists who will lead us, the entrepreneurs, the innovators, the superstars, the collectors, the teachers. They are us. They are the speedies among us. They are the users of invisible ink. Together, we are Memphis College of Art. Welcome to the land of Oz, and please join us as we travel on.
I've already done this once, but if you didn't understand it, I'd like to introduce the Vice President for Advancement, Lara Hine, to introduce our commencement speaker.
See if I can get this right. Can everybody hear? So good morning and congratulations to our graduates. We're so proud of you. My charge is to introduce our commencement speaker, and he's worthy of an hours-long introduction, but my charge is to be brief, and so I hope I don't overlook any of his accomplishments. I'm going to rely a little bit on my notes here. Ira Sachs was born in Memphis in 1965 and graduated from Central High School and went on to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree from Yale University. He is a New York City-based writer and director. His very well-reviewed and received films include Married Life, Keep the Lights On, Little Men, and 2 movies filmed in his hometown of Memphis, The Delta and 40 Shades of Blue. And in fact, 40 Shades of Blue was first screened at the Memphis College of Art and went on to receive the Grand Jury Prize for Dramatic Film at the 2005 Sundance Film Festival. A more recent film, Love is Strange, was inspired by the decades-long partnership of Ira's great uncle, Ben Goodman, and MCA's former president, the beloved Ted Rust. Ira's films have been screened at the Toronto, New York, Berlin, London, Rotterdam, Deauville, and Rio film festivals, among many others, and have been shown at the Whitney Museum of American Art and the Tate Modern and the New Museum, among many others. Both a Rockefeller and Guggenheim Fellow, Ira's work is in the permanent collections of both the Museum of Modern Art and the Whitney Museum of American Art. Ira teaches in the graduate film department at NYU and is a fellow at both the MacDowell and Yaddo artist colonies. That's just his professional accomplishments thus far. All of these professional accomplishments reveal a filmmaker who is extremely successful, and for most artists that would be enough, but not for Ira. He is the founder and co-curator of Queer Art Film, a monthly series held at the IFC Center in New York, which serves to create a meaningful dialogue around the power of film to inspire and address important social and human issues, particularly as they relate to homosexual artists. The series has been described by the New York Times as, quote, one of the city's most adventurous repertory programs. But Ira did not stop there. He went on to establish the Queer Art Mentorship Program, which partners young artists with established and successful gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, and intersex artists from across the literary, film, performing, visual, and curatorial arts. The more senior artists formally mentor young GLBTI artists to ensure their future success and professional satisfaction. The Queer Art Film and Queer Art Mentorship programs are born of generosity and a commitment to pay it forward by an artist who could have easily rested on his own individual accomplishments. In an effort to learn more about Ira, I spoke with individuals who know him both professionally and personally, and their comments were consistent and very genuine. And here are the few of the words they chose to describe him. Ira is a curious story seeker and storyteller. He is a good listener. He is gifted in his ability to connect and collaborate with people. In the world of film, where a certain hierarchy on the set prevails and where there can be an abuse of power by the director, Ira is strong, confident, and in control, but at the same time he is calm, generous, patient, and without arrogance. All of this combines to bring out the best of everyone who is involved in the project and to ensure the success of the film. Ira grew up gay in an unaccepting and closed era and knows how it feels to be an outsider. He is compassionate and courageous and uses art as a vehicle to make the world a better place. Subtle and not so subtle themes of social justice are prevalent in his films. And to the individuals with whom I spoke, it is their opinion that it is this cause of social justice that is most important to Ira in his work. Ira has great integrity and a deep and abiding respect for humanity. He is part of the continuum of life. He actively commits himself to learn from everyone he comes to know and this includes the wisdom he gains from his two young children, Felix and Viva. Ira is hardworking, never resting, plugging away decade after decade to perfect his art form and to continue in the creative process, and most inspirationally, to provide opportunity and mentorship for other artists, especially artists who are at particular risk of being overlooked, maligned, or misunderstood by society. Ira is an artist who is representative of that part of MCA's mission statement, which reads, Memphis College of Art is dedicated to preparing graduates to succeed in their careers and change the world through their creativity. We're honored to have such a powerful and creative force with us today, and native Memphian no less, and so I introduce you, Ira Sachs.
Thank you, Laura. I didn't expect that. For such a welcoming speech and for welcoming me to this great event and great day. I want to thank the president of the college, the board, the faculty, the administration, and most of all, this group up here, the students, for inviting me to be part of this celebration today. It's a real honor, and also for me, a provocative, creative challenge to consider this event itself, the juncture that a graduation represents, and to think about how I might add something of value to it. The historic role of the commencement address is to provide some sort of thoughtful insights for those of you who are leaving behind the comfort of this very bucolic academic setting and heading out into the unknown of your lives ahead. The truth is, you can't teach experience. You can only earn it and live through it and hopefully survive. And in time, each of you will come to new discoveries that you can't even imagine you will arrive at today. The one thing I can promise is that the time ahead will be harder than you can imagine. I always felt that it was one of the great misrepresentations of life that no one told me how painful the years just after college would be. No one told me that I would be suddenly crippled with fear when I had seemed fearless. No one told me that after 20-odd years of being a student and knowing clearly what I was supposed to do next, suddenly there would be no next. No set path for me to follow, no test to take, no grade to finish. And so, for me, at 21, fresh out of college, a would-be filmmaker living in Brooklyn, I got lost. I got lost in all the things most people seem to get lost in, including sex and love, and most of all, loneliness and isolation. I went from being surrounded day and night by other people to being holed up in my apartment, not sure of what to do with myself. I will tell you something that might not be obvious. There are some truly positive things that can come from loneliness. There are some of the things that happened to me was that I read all of Proust, and that was the one time I would ever do that. I saw 3 or 4 movies a week. I wrote a lot of diary entries, some good, some bad, but these diary entries, one day, 10 years later, I would use to write the script of a movie. Loneliness can bring you closer to some part of yourself. It is not something you should shy away from, and I don't regret the loneliness of that time. In a way, it is a perfect inverse of college years. For many of us, it is the first time you have to live to learn you have to learn to live with yourself. For me, learning to live with myself kindly took a very long time. Having grown up in Memphis, a gay teenager in the 1970s, I learned very quickly how to hide, to keep my stories quiet, and how to embrace shame. I learned some of that right here, in this very park, as a teenager looking for connections. In 1995, after more than 10 years away from Memphis, I moved back to make my first feature film, The Delta, the opening scene of which was shot right there, a fictional version of the teenager searching. Maybe that was the beginning of something that has allowed me to survive. I told my stories. I let my films speak of things that without them I could not speak of. But films are not confessions. They are conversations we have with each other. This is what is valuable, the act of speaking, of telling our stories, of sharing our challenges. When I was young, when I was your age, when I was just passing through the juncture of a college graduation, I thought I should have the answers. If there's anything I've learned, it's that the most important thing is to have the questions, to be able to reveal that you are lost, that you are confused, and that you don't know what to do with yourself next. You've graduated from college, and you only have the vaguest idea of how to become the adult you'd imagine you'd be. And the answer is often found, very simply, in other people. In college, I was engaged, I was politically active, I was part of, and I formed communities. But the first thing that goes missing after college is other people. Not only do you not know what to do with yourself, but you suddenly don't have a community to do it in. I remember a few years after college and being at a party where I barely knew anyone, and finding myself walking in circles in the coat room, hiding, hoping not to be seen. Alone for the first time really in my life, I often felt like a high school freshman at a dance, my back against the wall, hoping for any contact. It was around this time, during a period of 9 years when I couldn't get a movie made, 9 long years between the Delta and my next film, 40 Shades of Blue, also shot here in Memphis, that I formed an allegiance with a dozen other filmmakers that we called dependent cinema. We wanted to make independent films, but what was clear is that we needed each other. We gave each other permission to reveal how scared we were, how confused by the steps we couldn't figure out how to take. None of us could get anything made, but we believed in each other's talent. We affirmed that talent by spending time together, strategizing, complaining, hoping. The community I made with that group, my comrades, I still call them, are what has made it possible for me to continue to do the work I do. Remember this: when you are home at night and your mind is circling and circling the same nagging doubts and fears, reach out to other artists. I promise you, they are going through some version of that very same thing that very night. Remember this: don't let other people define for you what is valuable. Don't let your parents, God bless them, define value, not galleries, friends, lovers, spouses, and particularly don't let the market define value. The market will attempt to control you. The market will attempt to tell you what is valuable, and that will include telling you that your own very personal experience has no worth. As a filmmaker, I am told daily by the market that the only stories that matter are those of white men, straight men, ideally between the ages of 20 and 40. The market tells me not to make films about women, not to make films about gay people or black people or immigrants. If I listened to the market, I would have never made most of the films I have made, including the 2 I made here, The Delta and 40 Shades of Blue. The first, still the only narrative feature made about a half-black, half-Vietnamese immigrant living near Crosstown. And the other, the only film yet to be made about a Russian woman living in East Memphis. The market would never tell me those stories have value. That was something I had to believe in myself. And here's something else no one ever told me: that a good part of every day you will face rejection and disappointment. It's as much a part of my life now as dinner and a movie, or checking Facebook or Instagram. My husband, Boris, who's in the back with my 2 kids, Viva and Felix, is a painter, and he and I have come up with a pretty good system of dealing with rejection. What we do is we rate it. We decide after we get some bad news if we deserve a few minutes to be upset, or if this one maybe justifies a couple of hours. Every so often, we give ourselves a full day and night to be disappointed, but that's it, no more. You've got to move on. You can't wallow. 24 hours max. Remember that. There's a great quote from Winston Churchill once. He said, "Success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm." My ability to withstand failure, to live through rejection, is in fact one of the things I'm most proud of. I think of it as a big success. In 2010, after having made those 2 films in Memphis and one more, an expensive one, partially in Hollywood, I found myself stuck again. It was not what I expected. Each stage of one's life as an artist, you imagine that one day you will arrive and things will get easier. Sometimes they do get easier, but they remain hard at the same time. 2010 was 2 years after the Great Recession of 2008. An economic downturn of that size is not something as an individual you foresee. And suddenly, like so many others, I was in the middle of it. For independent film, all the money dried up, and after 3 years of trying to get a movie off the ground, I hadn't raised a dime. I was teaching at the time at the Graduate Film School at NYU, and inspired by my students, I decided to make a short film on my own, because that was all I could afford. The film I made was called Last Address, and it was an 8-minute wordless elegy honoring a group of New York City artists who had died of AIDS. I had been asked to make the film for a one-night event in New York City, and having not made anything in 3 years, I decided to say yes, why not? 2008 had been, personally, a very important year for me. I went through a crisis in my domestic life, the end of a long, unhealthy relationship that ended up changing my future in the best of ways. As they say, every crisis is an opportunity. For me, in the wake of that crisis, I began to live life in a very different way. For the first time, I finally let go of the cloak of my shame, that shame I had learned so deeply in this very park. And I began to live an honest life for the first time. The biggest after effect of that shift was that after years of saying no to things because I was frightened to try, I decided to start saying yes to anything that seemed possible. Do you want to teach? Yes. Do you want to make a short film? Yes. Do you want to have a child? Yes. And luckily, I had 2. It's hard to describe how new that felt to me, to take those risks and discover where those risks might lead me to. For me, those risks led to a productivity I've experienced in the last 6 years as an artist, not to mention as a husband and a father, that I never could have imagined. Saying yes, risking failure, asking for help, and most importantly, attempting my best to be rigorously honest, those are the things that have made these good years possible. As I said, when you're graduating from college, there are many discoveries you can't even imagine one day you'll make. And for me, the year of saying yes led to some of those great discoveries. In making Last Address, I began to learn more intimately about many artists who had worked and lived in New York, but whom I would never know. They died too soon. Artists like David Wojnarowicz, Cookie Mueller, Klaus Nomi, Asanto Saint, and Ronaldo Arenas. These were men and women who didn't fit in, who were punk, who were marginalized by race, by poverty, by their sexuality, and they didn't try to make comfortable work, to fit in, buy lofts, sell in big galleries. They made uncomfortable work, challenging work, and always work that was extremely personal. You find community in places you'll never expect it, including in the ghosts of the past, in your heroes, in the people who have come before you. For me, that includes all the artists from Last Address, as well as novelists like Henry James and Edith Wharton, filmmakers like Chantal Akerman and John Cassavetes, Robert Altman, and Rainer Werner Fassbinder. I am in conversation with these artists every time I make work because it is these renegades that give me the permission I need to be brave, to be ugly, to make mistakes, and most of all, to remain true and specific to myself and to my own very unique experience. These artists give me the strength I need to keep on keeping on, as Boris and I like to say to each other, quoting that great song by Curtis Mayfield. And sometimes it is a song that will get you through the day. I want to end today by talking about one other hero of mine, and that was a man very closely and deeply connected to the history of this school. In every graduation ceremony from 1949 to the year of his death in 2010, Ted Rust longtime president of the Memphis College of Art, ex-Brooklynite, Deep Springs graduate, Yale MFA, California native, could be found in his seat here on the lawn, the last chair in the last row. When Ted and I first became close, I was in my late 20s, and he was in his late 80s. We would sit for hours in the garden behind his house, and while he would feed the birds and serve me tomato soup from a can and saltine crackers, we would talk about our lives and our artwork, about our families and our histories. And then at some point, I would ask to go inside to see his studio, to see what he was working on. Until he was 98 years old, 12 months before his death, Ted was always working on something new. The last time I went to his studio, I saw a small, unfinished clay model for a sculpture he wanted to make of a young man wearing a backpack. Throughout his career, Ted's sculptural work had either been classical busts, characters for the Bible, or more abstract, expressive forms. I ask you all now to take a moment and turn and look at Icon, which is in front of the building that bears his name, Rust Hall. If you can't see it now, when you go outside, you'll see it. But at 98, Ted got interested in something new. He focused his attention on the next generation, a teenage boy and his backpack. There's a circle that you can draw between all of us. As artists, we are already part of that circle. The dead speak to the living. The old speak to the young. We teach each other. This is a community. This can give you hope. This can be your strength at times when you feel lost and alone. It is very clear to me that one of the reasons Ted Rust lived so long and continued to be so creative and ambitious in his artistic life was that he too understood the importance of other people. Those afternoons he and I spent talking and sipping tomato soup would be repeated many other days of the week with many other people, or perhaps to be more accurate, with a few other fortunate people, for Ted was not indiscriminate in whom he gave his time to. Other artists like Vita Reed, who spoke earlier today, Murray Reese, Dolph Smith, all who taught here during the years Ted was president, or women like Ellen Kleiss and my mother, Diane Sachs, who also had their afternoons with Ted in the garden and looked after Ted like loving, admiring daughters. Even at 98 years old, Ted understood that to survive, you need a community. And luckily for Ted and for us, Ted had an extraordinarily natural talent for friendship. But any talent takes work, and Ted did that work by sharing himself with others, by telling his stories, sharing his pain. Friendship can in itself be an art form. It takes work to maintain and build intimate relationships. And in conversation, as in his sculptures, Ted found real and unique beauty. I started this conversation by telling you that you can't teach experience. It's true, but you can share it. That is what we do as artists, and it is our gift. It is also our challenge to do so as openly and fearlessly as we might. You can learn a lot from other people's bravery, the risks other people are willing to take. Be guided by the brave wherever you discover them, living or dead, fictional or real, artists or friends. For decades, I thought I could do things on my own, figure out the answers, how to make the life and the career work. What I now know is that without community and your own deep investment in others, you will get stuck. You will get lost. The world will get smaller, and you too will find yourself walking in circles in a coat room. You must be brave yourself. Now is the time. As you take this step into the years ahead and all that is unknown about them, you will not be alone, even when it feels so deeply that you are. Stay connected to others, both those around you every day and those who came before you. And most importantly, with all the honesty you can bear, honor your own life, honor your own experience, and tell your stories. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for your time, and I wish you all a vibrant future that continues to surprise you.
We have a few awards to make, and they needed some special explanation. This will be the first year of a new award to an outstanding faculty member. Vita Reed, who was here a few moments ago, was very insistent that we give more attention as an institution to the incredible teaching abilities of the faculty here. And so Ellen Kleiss, who was mentioned a moment ago, and Brig Kleiss have funded an award for faculty. The logical thing right now would be for me to introduce again the Vice President for Academic Affairs, who would logically identify one of the recipients of that Outstanding Faculty, Outstanding Teaching Award. But the problem is he can't introduce himself. Stand up.
What I can do is introduce the second award. And this is also brand new, the Dorothy Sturm Distinguished Teaching Award. The Dorothy Sturm Distinguished Teaching Award will be provided every 2 years at the college's commencement ceremony beginning in May 2016. This award is in recognition of faculty teaching excellence without regard to seniority. All full-time members of the college faculty who have taught at MCA for at least 3 years are eligible, including those administrators who hold academic rank. The award recipient demonstrates excellent teaching over the past 3 years as reflected in student course evaluations, colleague assessments, and other evidence of an overall high quality of teaching in the arts environment. The award recipient's teaching embodies imaginative and creative pedagogy and exhibits currency in the subjects taught. The recipient was chosen by a committee consisting of students, faculty, administration, and trustees from nominations submitted by students, faculty, and staff based on the evidence mentioned. I am pleased to announce the first recipient of the Dorothy Sturm Distinguished Teaching Award is Ellen Daugherty. And that comes with a lovely check. I think I'm up here again. I apologize for that. What we're going to do now is a presentation of Professor Emeritus Awards. And I wanted to say a few words about the recipients of these awards. Commencement is, of course, about looking to the future, and rightly so. For the graduates, this is a time to look forward to the possibilities of new places, new jobs, new people. But it is also a time to look to the past that has made this moment possible. The College of Art is 80 years old this year, and in that time there have been many exceptional teacher artists. The most influential of those are given the title Emeritus. Emeritus status here at the College of Art is honorary and awarded to those faculty members of the Memphis Academy of Art, Memphis College of Art, who have given long and distinguished service to the school and who embody the dedication to teaching and creative work for which the school is noted. The president or dean may bestow the title on an eligible faculty member who is entering permanent retirement or already permanently retired. As I was writing this, I remembered something that the painter Stanley Boxer said about artists that also applies just as well to teachers. Boxer said, "Everybody who came before me, especially those I know nothing about, was helping me in one way or another. When one goes to a museum, which for me isn't all that often, and one is feeling especially expansive, which for me is becoming more often, one sometimes drifts beyond the immediate stuff and thinks for a second of all those hundreds of thousands of practitioners who came before, all those pyramid makers and God knows what else. And sometimes when this happens, one of the senses is that one feels less alone. One is amongst family. As a kid, I went to the Frick Museum, and you felt like you weren't the biggest jerk in the world. You felt rather proud. I see a guy who's older than me, which is getting to be kind of rare, and I feel like I owe him something because he helped me do my stuff, even though I don't care what he does, just by being around. So all of these people have made this curious kind of contribution, and it's called tradition. Boxer implies tradition is much more than a sequence of occurrences in time served. MCA is a place with deeply felt traditions that have to do with shared beliefs and values. Today, we recognize 3 Memphis Academy of Art, Memphis College of Art faculty for the quality and influence of their teaching and their personal work. They are the first additions to the ranks of Emeriti faculty since 1999. And would you please come up when I call your name? Peter Sanjan. Peter served from 1969 to 2001. Leandra Urrutia, our current ceramics faculty member who took over for Peter when he retired, will tell you that Peter's knowledge and experience of ceramics is vast, and his love for the studio and experimentation is still inspiring. He built one of the kilns that is still used in the ceramics studio and continues to advise about its use. His students are some of the leading ceramic artists in the area, including Dale and Bryn Baucom and Stephen Hill. He has exhibited widely and published work on the uses of ceramic materials in journals. On a different note, as chair of foundations for many years, I read the course evaluations of faculty, including Peter's 3D design classes. I am not exaggerating when I say that every semester for a period of years, at least a couple of students compared Peter to Satan. It is no accident that the president at the time felt the same way. Now, that may not sound like much of a recommendation, but the reason for this is that Peter is rational, methodical, focused, and patient. People who do not share those qualities don't appreciate them all the time. Without getting emotional about it, Peter will relentlessly pursue his point, whether it is in critique of student work or critique of college policy. Besides the excellence of his work and his influence on students, to me, Peter was the conscience of the faculty. Yep. Thank you. You're welcome. Richard Perlman served at MCA from 1972 to 2007. When I came to MCA from Ohio in 1987, there was only one MCA faculty member I was familiar with, and that was Richard. His reputation as a metalsmith was and is immense. His exhibition list is huge and international. He served as the National Ornamental Metals Museum's Master Metalsmith in 2006, a high award indeed. The influence of his leadership and teaching on the metals program at MCA is also immense. You only need to look at our current metals faculty who are his students to understand that. Because I can editorialize, I'm going to. Richard's qualities as an artist and teacher were woefully underappreciated during the time that I was here on the faculty with him. I am pleased and proud to recognize him in a way that befits his influence and stature. Fred Burton served on the faculty from 1987 to 2013. Fred and I came to MCA at exactly the same time in the fall of '87. We soon discovered that when it came to art and painters, we agreed on almost everything. On everything else, we were in total disagreement. Despite the fact that the faculty often work together for many years, it is not so often that we see each other teach. But because we worked closely in teaching drawing, I did see Fred in the classroom a lot. Fred's style was akin to a benevolent steamroller. Loud, powerful, relentless, and unstoppable. He was extremely resourceful and would do whatever it took to get a point across, yell, whisper, rarely, beg, harass, convince, cajole, harangue, stomp out the door in disgust. It didn't matter as long as he got the result that he wanted. And the result was some of the most consistently outstanding student work I have ever seen. Fred can tell endless stories and anecdotes about art and artists. For those of you that know him, his ability to call up long streams of artist names to give to students as references is truly legendary among students and faculty. Fred's paintings hang all over Memphis and perhaps most prominently at Le Bonheur Hospital. He is known for the brightly colored dot paintings that remove the negative connotations of the term decorative, but his work is also changing and evolving and continues to do so. Fred is also legendary among his friends for his stories of near-death experiences. Fred has almost died more times than most people go to the grocery store. We used to just roll our eyes. Unfortunately, he does have a legitimate, if weird, health problem that prevented him from being here today. And I assure you his death is not imminent, and I will deliver his medal to him directly. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I would like to call Professor Emeritus Dolph Smith to the stage. The highest award the faculty can bestow on a BFA candidate, the Jesse and Dolph Smith Emeriti Fellowship Award, was established in 1986 on behalf of the professors, directors, and trustee emeriti who have played a vital role in shaping the future of the college. It is awarded each year by the faculty to a graduating senior who embodies the spirit of Memphis College of Art. This year, the faculty have chosen two recipients of the award, and I will introduce each awardee separately. The first awardee is a student who is very well known around the MCA campus. He has been deeply involved in the life of the college as a member of the Student Alliance, an RA in the dormitories, and a leader in many student activities. On a personal level, he has been characterized by the faculty as a good person who cares about those around him and who is unfailingly gracious to his professors and peers. With regard to his studies, one of his professors calls him, quote, one of the most driven students I have personally had the pleasure to have in class. He excels in photography, printmaking, and the liberal arts, and has found unique ways to push the boundaries of photography at its intersections with other media. His work is distinctive and clearly reflects the influences of his upbringing and native home. He has taken the initiative to promote his work internationally and is an entrepreneur, selling his photographs and prints and also eye-catching hand-printed ties and scarves through his highly professional website. Our awardee will graduate today, magna cum laude, with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts, with a double concentration in photography and printmaking, and a minor in art history. The Jesse and Dolph Smith Emeriti Fellowship Award goes to Joshua Stratham from Harare, Zimbabwe. The second awardee is a distinctive presence at MCA. Many of us think of him as quiet, serious, thoughtful, intentional, studious, and mature. I taught our awardee when he was a freshman, and I was absolutely convinced that he was a quote-unquote older student who had taken some time off before going to college. I was stunned when I learned that he was the same age as every other freshman in my class. This level of maturity is also clearly present in his artwork. His sculptures are frequently huge, almost always kinetic, and generally remarkable, fascinating, and full of whimsy, while also broaching very serious ideas about home, place, and memory. He's a tinkerer who seems to be able to build anything. Bits and pieces of this and that are turned into cars. Old machines are reused and re-engineered to do strange and funny things. He intuitively connects with his audience through interactive art that invites the viewer to touch, to set in motion, to listen as it whirs and clicks. Professor Tom Lee beautifully sums up the student as, quote, dedicated to his journey of self-discovery through a passionate approach to meaningful art making. Our awardee will graduate today summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture and a minor in art history. The Jesse and Dolph Smith Emeriti Fellowship Award is given to Spencer Nolan Laws from Decatur, Alabama. Now for what you've all been waiting for. Will the Master of Fine Arts candidates please stand? Wait. Mr. President, Chairman of the Board, on behalf of the faculty of Memphis College of Art, I hereby declare that these candidates have met all the requirements for the degree of Master of Fine Arts. Victoria Eloisa Barrera, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Catherine Ray Korp, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Susie Yoshiko Hansen, Master of Fine Arts in Photography. Andrea Lynn Kamenek, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Carrington Elizabeth Lemons, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Lindsay Castle Mashburn, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Danielle Suzanne Maseka, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Gil Arnaud Ngole, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Jin Powell, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Kayla Leanne Selby, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Mark Ryan Steed, Master of Fine Arts in Photography. Shuai Tong, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art. Olivia Chafee Wall, Master of Fine Arts in Photography. Christine Lynn Whitlock, Master of Fine Arts in Studio Art.
By the powers vested in me as chairman of the Board of Trustees of Memphis College of Art, I hereby confer upon the candidates presented to me today the degree of Master of Fine Arts with all the rights, privileges, and immunities thereunto appertaining. Thank you.
You can sit. Will the Master of Art in Art Education candidate please stand? Mr. President, Chairman of the Board, on behalf of the faculty of Memphis College of Art, I hereby declare that this candidate has met all the requirements for the degree of Master of Arts in Art Education. Heather Nicole Wallace, Master of Arts in Art Education.
By the power vested in me as chairman of the Board of Trustees of Memphis College of Art, I hereby confer upon the candidate presented to me today the degree of Master of Arts in Art Education with all the rights, privileges, and immunities thereunto appertaining.
Will the Master of Arts in Teaching in Art Education candidates please stand? Mr. President, Chairman of the Board, on behalf of the faculty of Memphis College of Art, I hereby declare that these candidates have met all the requirements for the degree of Master of Arts in Teaching in Art Education. Jordan Elizabeth Miernick Walker, Master of Arts in Teaching in Art Education. Brandon Charles Blatchley Carnes, Master of Arts in Teaching in Art Education.
I think the reason that they have a lawyer as a chairman is the only person that could say thereunto appertaining. By the power vested in me as chairman of the Board of Trustees of Memphis College of Art, I hereby confer upon the candidates presented to me today the degree of Master of Arts in Teaching and Art Education, with all the rights, privileges, and immunities thereunto appertaining.
Will the Bachelor of Fine Arts candidates please stand? Mr. President, Chairman of the Board, on behalf of the faculty of Memphis College of Art, I hereby declare that these candidates have met all the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts. Is she all right? Kaylee S. DeVault, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts and Design Arts with a concentration in comics. Christian Axayakatal Anzures, Bachelor of Fine Arts and Design Arts with a concentration in sequential narrative and a minor in art history. Alexandria Darylyn Bell, Bachelor of Fine Arts and Fine Arts with a concentration in printmaking. Logan S. Bernabo, Bachelor of Fine Arts and Fine Arts with a concentration in painting and a minor in art history. Anna I. Bodner, Bachelor of Fine Arts and Design Arts with a concentration in illustration and a minor in art history. Donna Bailey Brocato, Bachelor of Fine Arts and Design Arts with a concentration in graphic design and a minor in art history. Matthew Ryan Cardenas, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture and a minor in art history. Heather Rain Coleman, cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Printmaking and a minor in Art History. Brendan Kyle Couch Smith, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in photography. Justin Brand Daniels, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in painting and a minor in art history. Elizabeth Christine Davis, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Animation and a minor in art history. Cara Catherine DiStefano, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in metals and a minor in art history. Michaela B. Daugherty Cannon, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in graphic design. Rebecca Astor Faison, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture. Lisa Karen Fears, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture. Glenn Thomas Fiscus, cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture and a minor in art history. Brittany Marie Gamble, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in illustration and a minor in art history. Amber D. George, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in illustration. Stephanie Ann Godfrey, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in photography and a minor in art history. Dylan Gregory, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in metals and a minor in art history. Ben William Hancock, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture and a minor in art history. Tyler C. Holmes, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in illustration and a minor in art history. David William Hook, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Animation and a minor in art history. Glenn Chase Hunter, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in drawing. Ra Imhotep Ishakara, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Media with a concentration in digital cinema. Tamika Michelle Lake, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with concentrations in sculpture and printmaking. Spencer Nolan Laws, summa cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture and a minor in art history. Ashley Marie Lulo, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in graphic design. Adra Angeline Maynor, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture and a minor in art history. Sebastian Lamar McDaniel, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in drawing. Kelsey Elizabeth Miller, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in photography and a minor in art history. Kaynina Lachelle Moore, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in painting. Heather Lee Morgan, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in graphic design and a minor in art history. Melanie B. Morrison, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Media with a concentration in animation and a minor in art history. Samantha Marie Namazi, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Photography. Diana Shea O'Brien, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in illustration and a minor in art history. Jacqueline Janelle O'Neill, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture. Linda Langley Osborne, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in illustration. Tori D. Roberts, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in illustration and a minor in art history. Colleen Laurel Robinson, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in illustration and a minor in art history. Charles H. Scaife, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Media with a concentration in animation. Sharon Ashley Segura, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in sculpture. Grace Shore, cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in sequential narrative. Roxanne Rachel Simmers, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Media with a concentration in animation and a minor in art history. Shayna Elise Smith, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in illustration and a minor in art history. Alexandra Sorokina, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in photography. Cameron Spencer, cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in photography. Joshua Stratum, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with concentrations in photography and printmaking and a minor in art history. Nika Valken, cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in sequential narrative. Lauren Ann Womble, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Illustration with a minor in art history. Mary Elizabeth Weber, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in digital media and a minor in art history. Amanda Weidman, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Animation. Jordan Witten, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Photography. John Taylor Wilbanks, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fine Arts with a concentration in printmaking. Sean Winfrey, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Digital Cinema with concentration in animation. Courtney L. Wardlaw, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Illustration. Casey Young, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Painting and Drawing. Ruby Isabel Zielinski, magna cum laude, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Design Arts with a concentration in graphic design and a minor in art history.
By the power vested in me as chairman of the Board of Trustees of Memphis College of Art, I hereby confer upon the candidates presented to me today the degree of Bachelor of Fine Arts, with all the rights, privileges, and immunities thereunto appertaining.
On behalf of all of our graduates, thank you for showing your support by your attendance here today. For those of you who are taking photos, especially with the intent to post them on social media, remember to post so the entire MCA community can see them. Post with hashtag MCAGrad16. Tag us in photos, but Instagram at Memphis College of Art, or use our general MCA hashtag MCA Connect. And to the Class of 2016, we wish you well, and remember, we're with you on your life's journey. Remember MCA and visit whenever possible. You have made your mark here. Now you shall make your mark on the world. And especially remember that when you make your first million, know that I will be very near very quickly. We've given a lot to you, and it'll be your turn to give back. Everyone, please join me in congratulating the class of 2016. And please remain seated for the recessional. Thank you.